From the Mapleview Animal Hospital studios, this is the WHTC Morning News with Gary Stevens and Peg McNichol on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
And we welcome you back to the WHTC Morning News for this Wednesday, November 18th. Every first and third Wednesdays of the month at this time, we present A Farm Life with a Farm Wife. It's brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, Mark Hop Agency at 477 Chicago Drive in Holland. Call Mark now for a quote at 396-5728. That's 396-5728 for Farm Bureau Insurance, Mark Hop Agency. After a couple of times where, due to circumstances beyond our control, her control and our control, she could now join us via the Zoom connection. She now joins us from her farm in the Hudsonville area. Diane Loew, you look good. Thanks for joining me.
Nice to see you again.
Glad you are with us. And there are some things you have, but I want to bring up one thing that I have saved for you. And it's a story out of Vienna, Austria. A new study there is providing insight as to how cows prefer their communication. Research from the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna shows the farm animals prefer live talking over a recorded human voice, saying live talking is more relaxing and interactions may be less positive when they become artificial. Researchers hope the study will make farmers interact more gently when working with cattle in the future. I have a funny feeling, Diane, that's not necessarily news to you.
I don't know how I would even use a recorded voice for my cows because they kind of do their own thing. And when we do talk to them, we do talk quietly until we need to get them up and going. Then you kind of got to raise your voice. But some of these studies, I don't get it.
I don't blame you for not getting it. A quick question, then we'll move on.
Sure.
It has been documented that with sheep, they know the shepherd's voice. And you can mix sheep all together, but when the shepherd says, come on over here, their sheep will follow him and not other ones. Cows that way or no?
They might be like in a smaller herd, but when we've got, like 1,000 cows in the barn and you're walking through talking and moving and stuff, they don't really care who's talking. They just move when they ask to be moved. So it might on smaller farms.
Okay, I'm just kind of wondering whether or not it's something that it's just peculiar to sheep, or
it might be. I don't know.
We have some biblical verses about Christ saying, my sheep hear my voice and they know me and they'll follow me and they won't follow somebody else. So I just thought maybe it applies to cows too.
I was going to mention that it goes back to the biblical things.
Yep. Indeed. What's on your mind today, Diane?
Oh, I have kind of a mishmash. First of all, I was a month or so ago, I was asked if I wanted to have my name put up to be in the Chamber of Commerce for Hudsonville. And I decided no, just because it was too much of a commitment. But I told the gal that if she ever needed or wanted information about farming, to let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help.
Now, let me ask you something real quick. I'm of the opinion, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but members of chambers of commerce are really more retailers, those who have direct access to consumers. You're not necessarily in that boat. Am I barking up the wrong tree on that or not?
No, because that's what I thought when I talked to her. I said, we've joined a chamber so we can get dental insurance and things like that. But that's one of the things I found really surprising. So I went to their planning meeting and listened, and they wanted to know what was going on with us as farmers in order to help the community at large understand about farming. Like they have harvest days there and things like that. So their main thing is with businesses, but because farming is part of the businesses in Hudsonville, they wanted that represented. And I kind of had the same thing, like, how are you going to help me? And I guess the main way they would help is to help educate the community and create an atmosphere where the community would understand farming a little bit better and things like that. And
I'm going to say certainly that's, that makes a little bit of sense in that regard.
Yeah. And I was very impressed. They were very appreciative of me being there. There's a lot of things that they didn't know, but I was really impressed with the chamber itself. I really never put much thought into it, like you said, because I figured it wouldn't help us at all. But if you're a business, find out about your chamber, because we spent a few hours, and they were really adamant about creating an atmosphere for the businesses and the community to come together for benefits for both. I was, like I said, really impressed and learned a lot.
Now, the thing is, of course, you're talking about the Hudsonville Chamber of Commerce, which
Right.
you would be involved with. Of course, Michigan West Coast Chamber in these parts. Grand Haven has their own chamber. The
Yep.
Tri-Cities up there. Granville Jennison has one, and I believe there's also one involving Allendale and Coopersville. So they do similar things. It's just a matter of location.
Yeah, and if you don't like what they're doing, get involved, So that was one thing that was kind of a cool thing. And I was just going to keep you up to date. We have all of our field work done. Thank you, Jesus. We had all of our corn done by Halloween, which is the earliest we've had done in years and years and years. And we have our rye planted. We plant rye in some of our cornfields as a cover crop. And what that does is it helps soil erosion and water and wind erosion. And for us, it's an early crop that we harvest for our cattle to eat first thing in the spring. And for other people, they will do the rye, and it will be tilled under as a nutrient to the soil.
Yeah, our master gardener, Jan Musin from the Brine Seed in Zeeland, has mentioned rye as a cover for grounds and stuff like that. So you're using the same way. Do you bale it? Like you would? No, it doesn't have to be baled.
Chop it. We don't bale hay here either. Alfalfa, we chop it. So we chop it. And I have Max. I have something else I want to show you. Max.
Uh-oh. Puppy time?
Yeah. Max.
Oh, I don't know.
I think he might be sleeping.
Well, then what's the line about let sleeping dogs lie?
I know, but he is just, bring him here, would you?
Yeah.
He's too cute not to show.
Okay. And of course, we are recording this Zoom conversation video-wise, so we'll put a link to it when we put the podcast a little bit later on today at WHTC.com. And of course, those who have been regular listeners of A Farm Life with a Farm Wife are well aware that a few years ago, you lost Charlie. A beloved dog at the farm. You had to make some efforts to keep him around. But now you got another puppy.
Yeah, this is Max. And he just woke up, so he's a little sleepy. Max, you need to say hello.
For those who are just listening and not watching our Zoom, or will be watching the Zoom, what type of dog is Max?
Max is a German Shepherd. And his dad supposedly is a King Shepherd, which can get up to 150 pounds. So this little boy, I think, is going to be a big boy. And he is so smart. We've never had a German Shepherd before. We've had all different kinds of breeds, but this is our first German Shepherd. And he is so smart, and he's learning things very quickly. And he's got one little floppy ear here yet. Mm. They said not to worry about the ears in these guys until they're like, maybe 5 to 8 months old. And he is starting to get it to stand up a little bit more, but we're just having a lot of fun with him.
Quick question, type of dogs are better suited, type of breeds better suited for a farm situation like you're in, or this is more just, hey, it's a cute puppy and we wanted a cute puppy around?
Well, this is my dog, and I wanted a big scary dog when he grows up. So people might be a little hesitant to come walking up the driveway. But there are. There's actually, I found out, I didn't know this, but that German Shepherds supposedly is in the herding group. At least I saw that on the dog show the other day. But yeah, there's dogs that actually help herd cattle, and there's dogs that I was looking at getting a Great Pyrenees, and they have to have a physical border because their job is to protect the herd from intruders. And if they see or smell a coyote and there's not a border, they will be gone, and you will not be able to stop them, because that's their job to get rid of these kind of other varmints. So since I don't have a fence around my yard and I don't have the need for that, I decided not to get it. But yeah, there's some dogs that are a little bit more suited.
No coyotes, I don't think, in this area, but
There are coyotes.
Are there a few? Because I know I saw, a couple of months ago, I saw a fox on the way to work.
We got plenty of coyotes out here. Trust me, we got them all over the place.
Yeah, okay, that's granted the cows are kind of big, but the coyotes have the mobility factor. Anything else on your mind today?
Nope, that was just
okay. I have one more thing, and this is more of the news director hat than anything else. Sure. Obviously, Governor Whitmer, through the health department, has issued new sanctions, new restrictions beginning today for a 3-week span. At first glance, it doesn't look as it's going to affect the farming industry in terms of actual operations. It would certainly affect in terms of the market of their foods, as dine-in restaurants. Once again, you can't even eat indoors, and it's too cold to eat outside. So it's all takeaway food. But your thoughts about the restrictions? Are you concerned that the dial's going to be turned up even more? And the sentiment, and Brian Kelly, the former lieutenant governor, mentioned in an article in Bridge Magazine yesterday, he doesn't think it's going to be just 3 weeks. It's going to be longer. That's because there's no guidance as to what parameters will it be to lift these restrictions. So, we're all in the sort of the same soup, I would think.
Yeah, my husband just said, be careful, because he knows how I feel about this. I think a lot of this is unnecessary. And I think the repercussions of it is going to be as great, if not greater. I think we're smart enough as people to figure out how to do things. But as far as it affecting us, it won't affect our day-to-day things, because if it goes south and it gets more shut down, we are considered essential. So we will still be able to work unless, our employees would get sick. But, we have a plan for that. And but the thing is if restaurants stay shut down and schools don't have kids in there, the whole food supply chain is going to get wonky. The same thing last time with cartons of milk compared to gallons of milk, and too much milk, and plants not being able to process it and get it where it needs to go. So there may be some repercussions down the line, and people are going to go nuts one way or the other, especially when the election is finally figured out. And there's probably going to be, this is just me personally, I think there's going to be empty shelves, and there's going to be things like that. And already you can go to the store and there's things that are missing. People are starting to ramp up. So I think there'll be a whole lot of things that are happening besides trying to keep people from getting sick.
And as a woman of faith, as you are, and of course, as a man of faith as I am, we haven't seen it in Michigan. We've seen it in other states where they've tried to shut down church services and gatherings. Res Life, of course, is the church that you've been affiliated with, one of the bigger churches in West Michigan. Are you concerned that we might have to have that same battle over being able to meet corporately on Sundays in this state as other states have had?
It could be. I left Res about a year ago, and I'm going to a smaller church here in our community. And what we're doing is we're masking up, social distancing, and then they also have online. But it's really hard for pastors nowadays, because they've got people in their congregation that are pro-mask and they'll wear them with no problem. People are anti-mask that don't want to wear them, people who are afraid of this illness, and they have to consider the whole thing. So I feel bad for pastors trying to keep things up and going. But yes, as a woman of faith, God's got this taken care of. We need to learn how to live with this instead of in fear of it.
I appreciate you spending a little extra time with us this morning, Diane. There was a lot of things we wanted to touch base with you on today on A Farm Life with a Farm Wife. I wish you and the family well over the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. Yes, and if all goes well, we should do this again in a couple of weeks.
You bet.
Thank you very much, Diane Loew, on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC. A Farm Life with a Farm Wife is a presentation of Farm Bureau Insurance Mark Hop Agency, located on Chicago Drive, just west of US 31 in Holland. Call Mark now for a quote at 396-5728. That's 396-5728 for Farm Bureau Insurance Mark Hop Agency.